Hi guys, as usual before we start this video today, I just want to say a massive thank you to my channel members. They are Shane Cook, Darren Lynch, Aina Lund, Matthew Reynolds, Tess Boaz and this person here. I did ask if you can get in touch with me via a comment below or email. My email address is in the description. Just telling me how to pronounce your name because I don't want to make a mess of it. But yeah, I really appreciate all you guys supporting the channel. We're doing really well at the moment. You know that already that you're in this month's giveaway to win the interior footwell lighting kit. And also the people that have joined the tier 1, the first tier, also you're in the draw as well. If you'd like to join those guys and get things like entries into my monthly giveaways, you'll get to see these videos 24 hours before anyone else, you get shout outs as I've just done and more, then just check out the join button just below next to the Qashqai guy logo and consider joining us. But for now, let's crack on with today's video. Hi folks, welcome to another Qashqai video. Today we're doing something that is probably the most wanted mod and potentially the most done mod, I'm not sure. You let me know if you've done it yourself already. And that is upgrading the standard horn. Now, I'm recording this video after I've done the job because I wanted to make sure it was all good. So here is our old horn, the old horn, and we're replacing this one because it's rubbish, and I'm sure a lot of you will agree. The original horn sounds like this, and yeah, it's not great. And the reason for that purely is because it is I don't know if the correct name for it is a monotone horn, or this does actually say on it high. A normal horn that you're probably used to hearing, and the reason you find your Qashqai one rubbish, is actually a dual horn setup. You should have two of these, one high, one low, and combined they make that well-known noise. I'm not going to make a horn noise because I look silly. So yeah, the standard Qashqai just comes with a single high pitch horn. Now I have bought this is the box it came in from Amazon. The link will be below. It is a Type R advanced horns. Not sure if it's got anything to do with the Honda Type R's, I'm not sure. But yeah, what it is a dual horn setup. One high, one low. Like I say, I've fitted them in the car, I've done it, so you're just going to have to follow the video. But it's two horns that come in here, as well as two brackets and two nuts to go onto the horns. It costs $11.99, which is a bargain in my eyes, and it was on Amazon. Like I say, it was Amazon Prime, so it came pretty quickly. The only other thing I had to buy was some spade terminals to make my own wiring. I had some wire. You may need to get your own if you don't already have some, and it was as simple as that. So yeah, you're going to watch the video now. Hope you enjoy it, and yeah, let's crack on and get down to the car. Okay, so down at the car, first thing we need to do is access the old horn. Now it is in here. So to get into this area, we need to remove this plastic trim here. Now to do that, we need to remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Phillips head screws. And we've also got 1, 2, 3, 4 of the plastic clips that pull out. I think with a minus head screwdriver. We'll tackle that when we get there. So yeah, let's crack on and get this removed. So with that removed, we now can see here's our horn, and it's held on to a bracket here. We're going to remove this nut just here, and it's a 12mm nut. Once we remove that, we've also got the two plugs that just pop onto it, which should just pull off, which I'll do with two hands in a second, and then we'll have the old horn out. So just for reference, you saw I struggled a little bit with these plugs. They've basically got like a rubber coating, obviously, to keep them protected from rain and stuff. What you need to do is pinch the end, so the two thin parts, pinch it together, and it should come out. Both of them should come off. Also to note, that wasn't very easy to undo, so I'd probably get some WD-40 on it next time, just to make it easier. So back inside then, so this is the old horn with its bracket, so I'm going to see if I can use this bracket with our new one. So I'm going to have to undo this nut just here, holding it onto the horn. A few issues that I can see so far. Obviously, number one issue is we need to replace this one with two. So I'm going to have to see how best to make space. There is room there, but with the bracket, I'm going to have to make sure that there is room for it to fit in. Also, it looks like the terminals on the newer one are ever so slightly bigger. If I put them right next to each other there, not much in it, but they do look a little bit bigger. So whether those old sockets go on it or not, we shall see. If not, we'll just have to make a little wiring adapter for it. So yeah, first thing I'm going to do is get this nut off of here and remove the bracket so we can use it. Now this nut is actually held on with a 13mm. This nut is a 13mm nut, I should say. So hopefully, there we go, bit of budge again, maybe some WD-40 would have helped there. So let's undo that, and there we go, goodbye old horn. So there's our bracket. That could go onto one of these, and I'm hoping we can put it onto one of these, and then we can use the bracket that comes with it maybe to then move it onto the other one. Funnily enough, it looks like we may have to do something like that, or find a longer bracket, because you can't fit them side by side. The bracket isn't big enough. Well, yes, obviously that will be a bit wonky, so I'm not going to go for that approach. So yeah, let's get this bracket onto one of these. Now the key thing we need to remember here is that the horn, what should we call it, exit, basically where the sound comes out of, it needs to be facing downwards. Obviously that's to prevent any rainwater getting into it, because that'll just kill it. So we use one of the new nuts that came with the kit, because the original Nissan one doesn't actually fit on this this spline, this bolt we call it. So that's one on there. Next up, I need to think about how I'm going to attach the second one as well. Okay, so after much faffing around, I've come up with a plan. We are not going to use the original bracket. Put simply, there isn't enough space for two horns. Obviously, it's designed to just have the one horn. So the old bracket, I can go with the old horn, get rid of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the two brackets that are supplied. Got one on already. Just need to tighten it up. And what I'm going to do is use part of the plastic cowling, which I can't really see exactly what it's for. It sits just behind the radiator. Obviously, I'll show you when we go down to the car. It sits just behind the radiator. I'm going to put a couple of small holes in it. It's nothing that's going to get damaged as such. And what we're going to do is have one each side of the front grille where your Nissan badge is. Again, you'll see all this exactly what I'm saying when we go out to the car, once I've made my little wiring harness for it. And we're then going to just have them each side of that. So they're going to sit, if you imagine that this is your Nissan badge with your camera in the middle, obviously behind that grille, they're going to sit each side like that. And then, like I say, what I need to do is make a little wiring harness, because we've only got 2 plugs at the moment, and we need obviously 4 as such, because we've got 2 connections on each. So the wiring will come in, it will go to one, which will then split to the other. So I need to make this wiring harness, that's the next job, and then we'll go down to the car and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So what we're going to need for this little wiring harness, which I'm going to do now, there'll be a jump cut in a second. Obviously we need some wire. I found some nice old red and black wire that we'll use. As for the amount, not a huge amount. I mean, I've got probably about a metre and a bit here. It's probably way too much. You just need enough to make the gap. As for your terminal connections, you're going to need, I've bought these from Halfords. If you want to go from Halfords, you want a HEF 516. It's about £3, which is way too much, but I just got it on the way home. You're going to need 4 of these female terminals, preferably this sort, the ones that are covered. I'm going to tape it as well just to give it extra protection. These are what's going to go onto these terminals like so. I'm not going to push it on because it's hard to get back off again. So you need 4 of them for each of your 4 terminals on your horn. And then I need a couple of these as well, which are the male ones, and these are going to go into our car wiring loom, the ones that we pulled out that went into this. They're going to go replace them and go into the car wiring loom to get the connection. So like I say, it's going to be a jump cut now. Hopefully we have a decent idea of how to make wiring and make these work. It's just a case of getting everything connected together. So there'll be a nice little jump cut now, and I'll be done with a nice wiring harness ready to go. Okay, magical jump cut. That was easy, wasn't it? So here is my little wiring loom that I've made. As you can see, if we start this end, so this, like I said before, these are going to go into the existing car wiring loom. They're going to come to here, and we're going to plug into our first horn, and then we've got like a double wire coming out, so going in then coming back out, and the other ones are going to go into this horn. So that's how it's going to be powered. I'm not going to plug all this in until I've got the horns in place, just so it's easier. I haven't got wires tangling up and stuff like that. So the first thing we have to do now, once all this is ready, is we're going to have to actually get these mounted in the car. So like I said, I'm going to drill a small hole in the plastic cowling, which you'll see in a sec. You may want to do this different. The problem I've got is I've got the aircon pipes in the way, and I think all Qashqais came with aircon, so you probably have the same issue. But you may find another way. If you do, please be sure to let us know in the comments below. Yeah, I mean, I would have liked to have used the original mount and all that, made it look all nice. But the thing is, I suppose I'm never going to take these out. When the car gets sold, it'll get sold with a better horn in it. So, yeah, so for now, let's get down to the car, drill a couple of small holes, a couple of new nut and bolts that aren't supplied. We're going to have to use our own. And get these mounted, and then we can get it all plugged in, and that'll be the job done. Right, you have to bear with me here. I just did the drilling, but I didn't press record because I'm stupid. So what I did, this is this piece of plastic I'm on about. I think what it does is just adds a bit of lower support to your front grille. That's all it does. It connects here and here, and then further down. You can see what I've done. I've drilled 2 holes. Now the access isn't very easy, so what I did was to drill a small hole and slowly get the hole bigger and bigger. You've got to be very careful because obviously you've got your radiator behind. You do not want to puncture it, so just take your time if you're going to do it this way. So once I've done that, you can see I've got the 2 bolts through there. They're the smallest I could find, believe it or not. They're quite big. So now what we're going to do is get the new horns put into place and see how it looks. So they're nice and comfortably in place now. You can see them mounted on nice and sturdy. I don't have any issues there. So now I just need to get our new little wiring harness on it, plugged into our old connectors there, and we'll be good to go. Okay, we're going to have to be honest and say I don't know which terminal is which. It's going to be a bit trial and error here. So here's our old loom at the side of the picture. So we'll plug in our plugs. 1 and 2. I'm probably going to put a bit of electrical tape around that as well. So let's keep it the same then. So we're going to go red on the right. I'm just going to lightly put these on in case we do need to change them. Like that. And then here. 1, 2. Give it a test. Okay, I think one didn't sound like it was working then, so I'm going to disconnect one of them. See how that sounds. That's fine. Just lightly connect to the other one. Disconnect this one. Yeah, actually that sounded fine. So let's push these terminals right on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, happy with that. There we go, let's see what it sounds like in comparison to the old one. I'll do a direct comparison now from the old one to the new one. So just to finish the job then, what I've done is put some tape. Yes, it's not pretty, but it's all going to be covered just on all the open electrical connections, because obviously water will get through this grill and it may get in there. There is a rubber strip on the top of the bonnet, but it isn't going to stop water getting through. So just try and mask away all of the open electrical connections. It's not a constant live circuit, obviously. It only is live when you press your horn, but yeah, just to make it a little bit better. Also put some cable ties on, which I just need to cut the excess off, and that's just keeping the wire behind this cowling here, and then I've fed it just through there to the original connections. Simple as that. So now it's just time to put this cover back on. So there we have it, guys. That was, I think, a pretty easy mod. A little bit of wiring knowledge needed. You need to know how to connect wires, terminals onto wires. Cost wise, I mean, that was done for what, £15 that cost in the end, and it took me probably about, if I hadn't been recording, probably it took me about 15 minutes to do. So it's quite an easy job. I will put a link to the product below, as usual, like I normally do. Like I say, if you want to get these exact terminals from Halfords, there's the code you need, HEF516. Otherwise, you're just looking for spade connectors. That's all you need. That's what they're called. But yeah, that's it. As usual, guys, if you could drop a like on the video, and if you're not subscribed already, please consider doing so, because it helps the channel amazingly. Next up, I've got something hugely exciting that only my members know about, hopefully. And that should be out hopefully within the next week. I haven't even started doing the project yet, so that's the next video to come. But yeah, thanks ever so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.